Look around. Why do some people command absolute respect the second they walk into a room? They are never interrupted. Their time is never wasted. What do they possess that you lack? I am about to tell you something that will make your blood boil. The reason they hold power isn't because they are smarter, richer, or inherently better than you. It is because they weaponize one psychological truth that you were conditioned to ignore. A mechanism so simple, yet so dominant, that once you wield it, your entire reality shifts. Someone cuts in front of you in line, and you swallow your tongue. A friend cancels last minute for the third time, and you force a smile. Someone steals your idea, and you let it slide. Do you know what you are actually doing? You are actively training the world to walk all over you. But here is the brutal reality. The people who never deal with this disrespect are not avoiding it by luck. They are executing a dark secret of human psychology that Niccolò Machiavelli mapped out 500 years ago, a law that separates those who command respect from those who beg for scraps of approval. What if I told you that your desperation to be liked is the exact thing making you weak? That every time you bend over backwards to please everyone, you are bleeding power? That the harder you chase validation, the less anyone actually respects you? This is not feel-good self-help nonsense. This is raw, unadulterated psychology, and it works flawlessly every single time. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why some individuals naturally dominate rooms while others fade into the wallpaper, why some are heard as gospel while others are silenced, and most importantly, you will learn how to forge yourself into a person who is never disrespected again. Are you ready to stop being the world's backup plan and force them to make you their first choice? Drop this affirmation in the comments right now. Respect over approval. Number 1. The hidden weakness of being liked. Look closely at every single person who has ever walked over you, dismissed you, or treated you like you did not matter. They all share one predatory instinct. They knew you needed their approval more than they needed yours. Think about it. When was the last time you truly respected someone who was suffocatingly desperate to be liked? Never. Desperation has a stench, and human beings can smell it from a mile away. What happens when you make being liked your ultimate priority? You become entirely predictable. They know exactly how you will react. They know you will smile through their insults. They know you will agree when they are dead wrong. They know you will show up even when they spit on your time. And the second you become predictable, you become disposable. It is a harsh paradox. The harder you try to be liked, the more people despise you. It sounds backward, but analyze the people you genuinely respect. Are they constantly checking to see if you approve of them, or are they entirely unbothered by your opinion? The absolute truth is that people are magnetically drawn to those who do not need them. It is psychology 101. We obsess over what we cannot easily attain, and we discard what is handed to us. When you chase approval, you are systematically destroying your own value in real time. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Machiavelli. He was not instructing you to be a tyrant. He was decoding the architecture of respect. Fear, in this psychological context, does not mean terror. It means consequences. When people recognize there is a heavy cost to crossing you, their behavior changes instantly. Look at the authorities in your life, your toughest mentor, the most demanding boss, the friend who delivers the brutal truth, even when it cuts. What unites them? They do not require your validation to sleep at night. They build ironclad boundaries and enforce them without hesitation. Meanwhile, the people pleasers are trampled, overlooked, and forgotten. When you make yourself universally available, you make yourself special to absolutely no one. The predators who benefit from your subservience do not respect you for it. Deep down, they view you as weak. They will offer you hollow smiles and sweet words, but behind closed doors, they know you are the reliable pawn they can force into submission for a crumb of attention. This is the psychological prison holding millions of people captive. They operate under the delusion that being agreeable earns them love and respect. All it earns them is a lifetime of being taken for granted. Respect is not given, it is commanded. And you cannot command a damn thing while you are on your knees begging to be accepted. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose power. Number 2. The dark power of respect. Now that you see how your desire to be liked is actively sabotaging your existence, let's dissect the ultimate currency, Respect, not the superficial, polite respect people fake in public. I am talking about the primal, visceral respect that forces someone to hesitate before they even think about testing you. Respect is built on one foundational pillar, consequence. When people understand that crossing your line will exact a toll, they simply do not cross it. It is that elemental. But when they know they can trample you without facing a millimeter of pushback, they will walk all over you without a second thought. This is the fatal flaw in most people's thinking. They assume respect is the byproduct of being impressive, wealthy, or talented. False. That is admiration. Respect is born from the absolute certainty that you will not tolerate disrespect. It is born from boundaries that carry actual weight. Let me expose the mechanics of this. When someone disrespects you and you do nothing, you are subsidizing their bad behavior. You are teaching them that disrespecting you is entirely free of charge. You are literally training them to abuse you. But when someone tests you and is met with an immediate, undeniable consequence, when they lose access to your energy, your assistance, your very presence, they learn incredibly fast never to make that mistake again. This is precisely why the nicest people endure the most brutal treatment. They have conditioned their environment to believe that bad behavior is consequence-free. They have made themselves a safe target, and the moment you become safe to disrespect, earning respect becomes a mathematical impossibility. But what happens when you flip the board? When you broadcast that your time, your focus, and your energy are premium assets? When you demonstrate that disrespecting you triggers an immediate penalty, the entire dynamic shifts. Suddenly, people measure their words around you. They calculate their actions. They treat you like a force to be reckoned with. Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that he who deceives will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. Machiavelli translation: people will treat you exactly how you permit them to treat you. No better, no worse. The darkest power of respect is its self-reinforcing nature. The more relentlessly you demand it, the more naturally it flows to you, and the more you possess, the easier it is to maintain. It is an upward trajectory that alters how the world perceives your identity. But recognize the critical distinction between demanding respect and demanding to be liked. When you beg to be liked, you surrender all control to the other person. They hold the power to grant or deny your wish. When you demand respect, you are the one holding the reins. Because respect is not a gift they bestow upon you, it is a territory you claim by refusing to accept anything less. Analyze the most formidable individuals you know. Do they plead for respect? Do they draft essays explaining why they deserve it? Do they lower their standards to accommodate others' comfort? Never. They simply refuse to tolerate the unacceptable, and that stark refusal becomes the engine of their power. This is the dividing line between the powerful and the powerless. The powerful know that respect is fundamentally non-negotiable. The powerless believe respect is a wage earned through endless subservience. You will never earn respect by hemorrhaging your power. You earn it by hoarding it. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My worth isn't debatable. Number 3. The psychology of control. Prepare for a paradigm shift. Every single interaction you engage in is a battle for control. Who controls the frame of the conversation? Who dictates the terms of the relationship? Who decides the ultimate outcome? Here is the devastating truth. If you do not know who is in control, it is not you. Approval seekers willingly hand over the keys to their own kingdom without a fight. Every time you alter your personality to secure a compliment, you give them control over your actions. Every time you swallow your truth to evade a conflict, you hand them control over your voice. Every time you say yes while your mind screams no, you surrender your autonomy. But those who have emancipated themselves from the need for approval, they retain absolute control. They vocalize their reality regardless of the room's reaction. They execute decisions based on their own ambitions, not the expectations of the crowd. They dictate the terms of engagement, instead of passively accepting whatever scraps are offered. This is why the addiction to approval is lethal. It is not merely about emotional highs and lows. It is about who holds the pen that writes your life script. When your self-worth is tethered to external validation, you have handed the remote control of your nervous system to strangers. Think of it this way. When your desperation to be liked takes over, You will commit psychological treason against yourself to keep others comfortable. You will mutate your opinions, bury your authentic traits, and slaughter your own values. You morph into a customized puppet for whoever is pulling the strings. That is not a relationship. That is psychological slavery. But when you sever that need, when you are entirely unfazed by their disdain, as long as you remain loyal to yourself, you hoard all the power. They have no leverage. They cannot weaponize a need you no longer possess. This is the core engine of true confidence. Formidable people are not confident because they are numb. They are confident because they have decoupled their self-worth from public opinion. They have rendered themselves psychologically bulletproof. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Machiavelli. The exact second you cease your performance for the gallery, you become dangerously unpredictable. And unpredictability is raw power. What is the fallout when you shatter the approval trap? First, manipulators lose their roadmap to your mind. They cannot trigger you because you have disconnected the wires. Guilt, shame, and pressure evaporate because those weapons only pierce those desperate for validation. Second, your decision-making achieves lethal clarity. Instead of agonizing over what will appease the masses, you ask one question: what serves me? Instead of exhausting yourself for everyone, you focus entirely on the only judge that matters, yourself. Third, your inner circle transforms. Yes, you will lose people. The ones who resent their sudden lack of control over you will vanish. Let them. The alliances that remain will be forged in the fires of mutual respect, not glued together by your pathetic desperation. This is the psychological pivot that alters reality. From "I hope they accept me" to "I am indifferent to their acceptance." From "what will they think" to "what do I know?" From "I need their applause" to "they must earn my presence." Drop this affirmation in the comments. I control my worth. Number 4. The addiction to approval. It is time to face the uglier truth. Your obsessive need for validation is not a quirky character flaw, it is a neurological addiction. And just like any addiction, predators are weaponizing it against you. Here is the anatomy of the trap. Someone throws you a compliment, likes your post, or pats you on the head. Your brain floods with dopamine, the exact same chemical cascade triggered by narcotics. You feel a euphoric rush, and just like a junkie, the moment that high dissipates, you are clawing for the next hit. But here is the sinister reality. The people in your orbit recognize this loop instantly. They figure out that a microdose of approval can make you their willing servant. Need you to burn the midnight oil? They feed you a compliment about your unmatched work ethic. Need a loan? They stroke your ego about your boundless generosity. Need you to turn a blind eye to their toxicity? They whisper sweet nothings about how understanding you are. They are systematically hijacking your brain chemistry. And the most tragic part, you are handing them the needle. You are so starved for validation that you will feast on whatever crumbs they drop. This is why approval addiction is fatal to your autonomy. It turns you into a remote-controlled asset. They do not need to threaten or coerce you. They just drip-feed you the validation you crave, and you will bend until your spine snaps. But individuals who have starved this addiction, they are impossible to manipulate. You cannot control a king with compliments if he does not require praise. You cannot manipulate a stoic with inclusion if he embraces isolation. You cannot weaponize their emotions if their equilibrium is entirely independent of your judgment. Here is the brutal economics of validation. It is dirt cheap to give and excruciatingly expensive to receive. Anyone can whisper that you are incredible. It costs them zero capital. But for you to sustain that high, you must hear it continuously from an ever-expanding crowd. You become a hostage to a resource controlled entirely by others. He who neglects what is done for what ought to be done sooner affects his ruin than his preservation. Machiavelli. When you obsess over the phantom of who others want you to be, instead of anchoring into who you actually are, you architect your own destruction. Watch this play out in the real world. The approval addict is a chameleon, shifting their personality based on the room. They hold contradicting opinions depending on the audience. They bury the sharp edges of their identity to avoid friction. They are not a human being. They are a walking collection of masks. Conversely, those who have conquered the need for approval are immovable. They are the exact same entity in every single room. They project their unvarnished reality regardless of the shockwaves it causes. They refuse to dilute their essence because they have zero fear of your disapproval. And the ultimate irony, this rigid authenticity forces the world to respect them infinitely more than any groveling people-pleaser. Breaking this addiction will be violent. Your own neurology will wage war against you. It will scream that isolation equals death. It will drown you in unearned guilt for prioritizing yourself. It will actively try to drag you back to the trough of validation. This is the crucible of discipline. You must consciously, ruthlessly deny the urge to seek approval, even when every cell in your body is screaming for a hit. You must cultivate a profound willingness to be despised, misunderstood, and targeted. You must elevate your own internal judgment so high that the collective opinion of the world becomes absolute silence. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My validation comes from within. Number 5. Machiavellian rules to command respect. Theory is over. Now we deploy the tactical framework. These are the ironclad rules that will mutate you from a welcome mat into a force of nature. These are not suggestions, they are tested, weaponized principles that do not fail. Rule 1. Speak less, act more. The masses talk too much and execute too little. They are constantly explaining their existence, manufacturing excuses, and over-communicating their every move. It reeks of weakness and a desperate plea to be understood. Those who hold power operate in reverse. They speak only when their words carry weight, and they let their actions detonate the impact. They do not owe explanations to those who have not earned them. When disrespect enters your radius, do not deliver a pathetic monologue about your feelings. Evacuate your presence immediately. When a boundary is shattered, do not launch into a seminar on personal limits. Drop the hammer of consequence. A prince must imitate the fox and the lion, for the lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. Machiavelli, be the fox when the battlefield requires cunning, and unleash the lion when it requires absolute devastation. Rule 2. Never chase. This is simple, yet it breaks the weak. No matter how deeply you desire an alliance or an outcome, never chase approval. If they go dark, do not double text. If they act cold, do not interrogate them. If they pull away, let them walk. Chasing broadcasts a suffocating desperation, and desperation is the ultimate repellent to respect. Instead, armor yourself in total indifference. If they like you, excellent. If they walk away, they just cleared space in your empire. This cold detachment is magnetic. It short-circuits their ego, making them obsess over why you do not need them, which inadvertently forces them to respect you. Rule 3. Stay cold and calm under attack. When an adversary attempts to provoke you, insult you, or breach your perimeter, your reaction dictates the victor. If you flush with anger, launch into a defense, or lose your composure, they win. They have empirical proof that they own your emotional state, which means they own you. But if you absorb the strike with dead, terrifying calm, if you meet their vitriol with icy indifference or a smirk of dark amusement, you instantly prove to the entire room that their weapons cannot pierce your armor. You are psychologically untouchable. Rule 4. Stay unpredictable. Predictability is the leash they use to walk you. When your reactions are mapped out, they will navigate you exactly where they want you. Shred the map. Keep them perpetually off balance. Be ruthlessly generous one day and entirely unreachable the next. Be the life of the room and then vanish without a trace. This calculated unpredictability destroys their ability to anticipate your moves, forcing them to treat you with cautious, unwavering respect. Rule 5. Enforce boundaries swiftly and silently. When the line is crossed, the speed and clinical precision of your retaliation matter infinitely more than its severity. A rapid, proportional consequence delivers the lesson permanently. Silence is your heaviest artillery. Do not issue a 3-strike warning. Do not offer a second chance for deliberate disrespect. Do not explain the mechanics of their failure. Execute the consequence in total silence and keep moving forward. This hardwires the reality into their brains. Your boundaries are concrete walls, not yellow caution tape. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I am unmovable. Number 6. Scarcity and distance as power multipliers. We are about to shatter a massive illusion. The masses falsely believe that hyper-availability makes them indispensable. They think saying yes to every demand secures loyalty. They assume granting unlimited access to their mind and calendar makes them cherished. They are catastrophically wrong. Scarcity is the genesis of value. It has dictated human behavior since the dawn of time. When a resource is rare, the masses bleed for it. When it is abundant, they trample it into the dirt. This applies to capital, diamonds, and most critically, to you. When you are perpetually accessible, you devolve into background noise. They know you will always answer, so they stop valuing your voice. They know you will always comply, so they stop appreciating your effort. They know you will endlessly forgive, so they stop fearing the damage they cause. But what happens when you choke the supply? When your time becomes a heavily guarded vault? When your attention is strictly rationed? Suddenly, the world begins to treat your presence like the hyper-premium asset it is. Analyze the apex predators of any social hierarchy. Are they the ones at every event, nodding along to every opinion? Never. They materialize only when it serves them. They vanish when they are satisfied, and they deploy the word no without a syllable of justification. Their calculated absence makes their eventual presence intoxicating. This is the devastating power of strategic distance. It is not about being a tyrant, it is about acting like a sovereign over your own energy. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few really know what you are. Machiavelli, the less of you they consume, the more intensely they analyze you. And an aura of mystery is an inescapable magnet. How do you weaponize this? Stop being the responder who fires back a text in 3 seconds. Reply when your empire allows for it. Stop absorbing every invitation. Become ruthlessly selective about where you deploy your presence. Stop acting as a lifeline for everyone. Reserve your intellect for those who have earned it. When you scatter your resources to the wind, they hold zero market value. When you allocate them with sniper-like precision, they become priceless. The brilliance of scarcity is its compound interest. The less available you are, the deeper their obsession grows. The more they crave your attention, the higher they must elevate their behavior to earn it. The better they treat you, the more discerning you can become. It is a violent upward spiral of dominance. Yes, there will be casualties. The parasites who fed on your boundless availability will starve and fall away. Let them die off. Those were never alliances. They were hostage situations disguised as friendships. The ones who remain, the ones who respect the fortress you have built and value the rare access you grant them, those are the only soldiers worth keeping. Distance also arms you with ultimate clarity. When you stop acting as a sponge for the world's emotional wreckage, you can finally hear your own thoughts. When you stop reacting to their emergencies, you can start architecting your own conquests. This is why true power often looks like detachment. It is not apathy. It is the absolute mastery of emotional regulation necessary for flawless, cold-blooded decision-making. The transformation. So what happens when you finally stop playing defense and deploy this arsenal? When you slaughter the need for approval and step into the vacuum of power, everything shifts. The tectonic plates of your reality realign. First, your circle purifies itself. The manipulators and energy vampires will despise the new you because they cannot control the new you. Let them choke on it. The alliances that survive will be forged in titanium, based on absolute truth rather than your exhausted people-pleasing. Second, your internal power grid comes online. Not the fragile, inflated ego that requires a crowd to clap, but the unbreakable, silent certainty that your worth is absolute and non-negotiable. You will obliterate self-doubt because you will no longer give a damn if the peanut gallery agrees with your trajectory. Third, the dynamic reverses. Opportunities will hunt you. The world will seek your counsel because they know you serve the brutal truth, not a sugar-coated lie. They will elevate you because they recognize a force that cannot be bought or compromised. Fourth, the paralyzing anxiety of managing everyone else's feelings will evaporate. You will experience the brutal, beautiful simplicity of focusing entirely on your own empire, unburdened by the phantom guilt of who you might have offended. But the ultimate prize, you achieve absolute psychological sovereignty. You are emancipated from the exhausting, pathetic cycle of begging to be liked. You are free from the burden of wearing 50 different masks for 50 different rooms. You are completely, unapologetically, and violently yourself. It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. Machiavelli. Your authority does not stem from external validation. It erupts from your own ironclad self-perception and how you choose to dominate your environment. This evolution will not be painless. The weak version of you will claw at the walls, begging to retreat to the comfort of submission. You will hesitate when the world pushes back against your new boundaries. You will wonder if you struck too hard when you enforce your consequences. Hold the line, because standing on the other side of that fire is a version of yourself you have yet to meet. A sovereign who commands the room without raising their voice. A force that draws loyalty without chasing it. A titan who wields immense power without the need to abuse it. The world is infested with millions of weak minds begging to be loved, but it is starving for the rare few who command absolute, unshakable respect. Which side of the divide will you stand on? If you are still watching, you have already separated yourself from the herd. Most people cannot stomach this level of psychological truth. They would rather die comfortable and powerless than endure the pain of reclaiming their autonomy. But you are here, which means you are ready to execute the kill switch on the person who gets walked over. You are ready to stop bleeding your power and start hoarding it. Remember, this is not about becoming a monster. It is about becoming indestructible. It is about weaponizing your worth and refusing to swallow anything less than total respect. The framework is in your hands. Speak less, act more, never chase, stay dead calm under fire, weaponize unpredictability, enforce with ruthless speed, deploy strategic scarcity. These are not merely tactics. This is the architecture of a sovereign mind. The wise man does at once what the fool does. Finally, Machiavelli. Do not be the fool who wastes a decade being a doormat before finally deciding to stand up. The revolution starts today. It starts with the very next sentence you speak. The dominant, unbothered, commanding version of your future self is waiting for you to pull the trigger. How much longer are you going to keep them waiting? If this transmission broke the illusion and showed you how you've been bleeding power, hit the like button. If there is someone in your circle who is still asleep, send this to them as a wake-up call. And if you want to arm yourself with the psychological weaponry to conquer your reality, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell. The evolution from powerless pleaser to untouchable titan requires a single step. You just took it. Now execute the strategy. Drop this final, undeniable truth in the comments. Respect is my birthright. In a world suffocating on the desperation to be liked, the one who requires absolutely nothing holds all the cards. Be that person. Command the respect you deserve, and watch how everything in your reality transforms when you finally stop giving your power away.